Hi, ladies and gentlemen. Hi, ladies and gentlemen, Virgo friends. This is Christelle Martinette, and I'm here with a reading for March for you. Now, before I go into the reading, I want to show you the cards that I'll be using. This is the Mona Lisa Tarot. This is for the second half. And then I have the Happy Tarot. I'll use that in the beginning. And I'll split the reading into two different parts. The first will be a reading for March, and the second will be you in relation to other zodiac signs. So let me start by telling you, and I have to make an announcement because someone tried to get in touch with me about 10 days, about 10 days ago. And they wrote to me asking information about my services. I tried to write back several times. The message bounced back as if I had a bad email, or if his email was full, the box. So I don't want to say the name. So if you recognize that it's you, please use another email to write to me at readings@christellemartinette.com. Go visit my website, www.christellemartinette.com. Let's see what's in store for you, Virgo. Let's see what's in store for you, Virgo. I'll show you these cards. Hi, everybody. Hello, everybody. Okay, now we've got the Eight of Coins. Eight of Coins. We've got the Three of Wands. We've got the Empress, which is our focus card, Virgo. Then we've got the poor Nine of Wands. Look at that, the Nine of Wands. I'm sorry, this is the Nine of Swords. Of course, you know, them looking at it, they look like wands hanging in the air, but the Nine of Wands is a different card, the Nine of Swords. And then we have the King of Wands here. Look, Virgo, you know, I have to say is that I'm pleased at how you have transitioned from the month of February into March. I like that. I like this transition period. I like the last week of February as we go into March. And you yourself, actually, are cruising, you know, I'll use that expression, as if you're on a good vibration, you know, you're cruising. And the energy is for the entire first, I would say, the first 2 or 3 weeks is very stable and very, very creative, extremely creative. So much so that you're full of self-confidence, and it exudes from you. You put off this energy of this air of self-confidence, and it's a joy to be near you, Virgo. And then, but for some strange reason, and I'll look at that right now, for some strange reason, we have this Nine of Swords all of a sudden, and I'm looking towards the end of the third week, going into the fourth week, and there's a moment of complete fear. Let's take a look at that. I'll show you these. Okay, we've got the artista, the artist, and then we have malinconia, melancholy, and then the priest, sacerdote. You know, with cards like this, the Vera Sibilla cards it is fear. It is fear. It's fear that makes you stop in your tracks, look back not as if someone were running after you or coming after you. No, it looks that as if you are looking back to the way we were, you know. I know it's the movie The Way We Were with Barbara Streisand and Robert Redford, but I'm thinking more the way we were, we as a generation, we as a people, we as a nation, we as a population. You know, you have these wider ranging thoughts that span time and distance, and it comes and hits you all of a sudden, as if it were a moment that you need to gather your thoughts this way. And What's interesting is that the very tail end I have here, this King of Wands that brings you back into the reality, in the so-called reality of things, and wakes you up sort of, and makes you go back to your merry way. But there's this fear that has no reason for being, I from the outside would say. But there is something underlying this, and I'm going to take a card from the bottom of the deck, that has just fallen to the ground. Excuse me. And what do we have here? And it's rightly so that it fell to the ground. This is the Four of Wands. This is the Four of Wands. And it's that the fear that you're harboring is a fear of losing everything. The kind of loss is the kind of loss that you experience when there's an earthquake, when there's a calamity, that's greater than man's efforts. And you're afraid, it's just a fear that comes in and seeps into your very bones, out of nowhere. And it has the flavor for me. It has the flavor of a past life fear that's coming to knock on your door in this lifetime, Virgo. So, let's just keep it out. Let's light some candles, put some, sage around and relax. And I'm going to take a few cards over this King of Wands that I like the looks of. This is alegria, happiness, leggerezza, the lightness of being, and then we have this belvedere, looking out the future. It looks very, very, very bright. And well, of course, then you snap out of it, really. You just snap out of it towards the end of the month. And then you go on your merry way again, and you occupy your mind with frivolous idiotical things that only society can make us think of. For example, that you have to be married by the age of 25, or that you cannot do this and that. And so you come back into this world and walk along these streets. But there are about 3 or 4 days where you actually remove yourself from this earth, at least, and from this time, and you're stunned, as you act as if you're stunned. And that moment lasts long enough for other people to notice, and you yourself to notice. And it frightens you even that you were taken, those 3 or 4 days, and you snap out of it, as if you take, an extra vitamin that day, or a cup of extra cups of coffee, and you snap out of it. You will yourself out of it. Very, very interesting. Now I'm going to take the runes here to see what they can add here. All right, let's see what we have. Well, we have our intuition is taking a hit. We have keynotes here, Merkstave, and you don't see those 3 or 4 days coming. You actually don't see it coming. But despite the 3, 4, 2, 5 days that it occurs, we have Awats here, and you are indeed protected. I do see that the runes here are giving you a counsel. This is Anzus, and they're telling you, look, Virgo, it would behoove you to communicate with other people precisely in those 3 or 4 days. If anything, to help you get perspective, but also to have a record of what actually happened. Someone who can say, well, you don't remember, but it was odd, and that is really important, because we need to be reminded of that. Along with Awats, I also have Aljits, which is this umbrella protection for you. And help me say joy. There's plenty of joy this month. Plenty of joy this month in the act of creation. The more creative energy you spend, the happier you will be. It is not, well, this is Manat's Merkstave. They tell me also that you are happiest when you are alone creating, because that brings you to your very roots, you feel. And you seem that bringing, having the notion of being brought to your roots is so beneficial to you in the month of March, so beneficial. You returning to your roots is what you need, especially to ward off those 2 or 3 days of complete, not disorientation, but stunned. You are stunned in that month, in the month of March. You are stunned. All right, let's take these cards up. Ladies and gentlemen, Leo. I just finished Leo. Virgo friends, let's go to the second half of the reading, Virgo. And that was for Virgo sun, rising, and moon sign. Also, this, the Mona Lisa Tarot I'm going to be using, and I'm going to be pulling one for every zodiac sign in relation to you in the month of March. So let's see what we have, and then I'll show you those cards. Aries, Taurus, Gemini, Cancer, Leo, Virgo, fellow Virgo, Virgoin, or you yourself, Libra, Scorpio, Sagittarius, Capricorn, Aquarius, and Pisces. Let's take a look. Shall we take a look? Again, this is the second time, I think it was in a row. Wheel of Fortune for the Aries, that represents the Aries in your life. Now, what is this person? This Aries is a person who will, just similarly to how they acted in the case of Leo, but differently for you, this is a person who will show you. They actually put up a mirror for you and say, Virgo, please, don't you see? Can't you see all that you have accomplished, all of your accomplishment? Look. If you're not able to see with your own eyes, I'm going here to help you. But if ultimately you are not convinced, remember that the wheel then turns. So please, let's bask in our limelight when we have it. That's the Aries in your life. Then we have the Five of Swords for the Taurus person. And this is a person who thrives this month. Not always, but this month they will thrive on being regretful, feeling regretful, wanting to think of things that they have not done and should have done and didn't accomplish. But, sometimes when it's too late, it's too late. And so if you don't want to hear that music, if you don't want to hear that noise, that background noise, you can keep them at bay. Then we have this card for Geminis. If you have a Gemini in your life, the Queen of Pentacles. And this is a card, this is a person, this Gemini, for you, Virgo, that like yourself, at least in the month of March, they have a firm foundation that they can count on. And they can also remind you that you are best served when you have your feet firmly planted on the ground, as you normally do, Virgo, as you normally do, as earth signs in general do. But there is that moment when you are stunned, and this Gemini will help you remember what is important for you. Then we have the Cancer card. The Cancer card is represented by the Ten of Swords. This Cancer person has had it rough of late, I would say in February, but they're ending this difficult cycle. And although I can say that in March, the Cancer person that you may know and that it evolves around you or is in your family, friends, or a coworker, they still have the remnants. They still wear the scars of that difficult past few months that they have experienced. So there's one of two choices. You can help them go through that, or you can, you know, try to avoid them so you don't, there's no overspill to you, but you'll be able to tell as soon as you see them what your reaction should be and how you should relate to them. Then we have the Leo card that represents Leo is the Justice card. The Justice card. This is a person that you know. This is a person who's been around several times for you in other lives. And this is a person who, I don't want to say whether you like it or not, they're in your life. No, because as we all know, we have free will. And, but this is a person who piques your interest. This is a person who, for some reason, you are curious about, because even if you have been treated even if they do similar things over and over, there's something about them that you feel you still have to learn. And so you still keep them around you in your life. But then again, I'll remind you, we have free will. We can just close the door and leave. Then we have Virgo. This is another Virgo in your life, or it could be you yourself. And this is the high priest. This is the Hierophant. Now, if it were another person, if it's another person, this is a person who is extremely wise. Of course, we talk about that of the high priest as being representative of high wisdom, of great wisdom, of divine wisdom. Here, though, I'm seeing it as a person who you go to for counsel. Simply that. If it is you yourself, I find that you're going to be doing this quite a bit. You're going to go in meditation. And those of you who do not meditate and don't need that state and can get to where you want in a different dimension very quickly without that meditative state. Here I see, Virgo, I see you as inviting yourself to do certain things, like there is an interior monologue, but I see it in your case as a dialogue, as if you can have not exactly an out of body experience, but it's as if there were another Virgo there. Then we have Libra, and the card that represents Libra is this Four of Wands. Very stable, nice person. This, more than anything, I see this as an extremely powerful friend for you. Of course, we have companions that are also Librans, and we, what is she saying? I mean, this is my companion now. Is it my friend or not? But what I find, and what my clients have also been telling me, and it's a general feeling, it's a general sensation, is that in the past decades, and I'm talking maybe 2 to 4 decades, what we're finding is that the roles, not only have roles changed, this is a cliche, but we're finding that one role is never quite enough. And there is a overlapping of roles. That's one difference. But also there's a myriad of shades in the role that we play. And the roles switch from one to the other. And I see that the most thriving relationships, and I'm talking about the Libran here because this is a person who acts this way with you, should they be in your life, that they are chameleon-like. Chameleontic, they change, their skin changes depending on where they are. And not in the derogatory sense, in the positive sense, they adapt, they're highly adaptable. And because of this, it's a wonderful relationship for you. Then we have the Scorpio is represented by the star. The Scorpio came out as the star and another few readings as well. This is a person who will literally shine a light for you. They will literally illuminate your path. They will literally take your hand and show you the way. A person that we would like to have at our side. Sagittarius, we have the Tower. The Tower. Let's look at another card from the bottom of the deck. Let's see. And we have the Seven of Wands. There's something, this Sagittarian, Virgo, this Sagittarian in the month of March is trouble. Okay. I'm seeing them as trouble. and you may want to keep them at bay. Okay, then I have the Capricorn, and the Capricorn here is represented by the Queen of Wands. The Queen of Wands, a Capricorn woman or man that you have around you or in your family or in your close circle of friends is a person who can make you see that when you're tired, when all is said and done at the end of the day, we hear that expression, when all is said and done, at the end of the day, there's still that 2-3% of energy left. And that's where the juice is squeezed out. And those are the richest drops of creative energy. The Capricorn person will show you that. Then we have the Aquarian in your life is the Four of Pentacles. Aquarian, this is a phoenix rising from their ashes. Just when you think everything was gone, this is a person who completely changes their life and reinvents themselves. Then we have the Piscean card, and this is represented by the moon, typically of the Pisces. This is typically a Pisces card. The Pisces in your life, Virgo, is a person that you have difficulty in understanding in the month of March, just in the month of March, because there's some things you always feel like you're always only getting one virgin. You're only getting one version, one side to the story. And you here too, in this case, you always go a little closer and warm up to them, so you try to understand a little better. It's quite interesting, quite interesting. I hope this was of help to you, Virgo friends. Like, share, and subscribe my videos and my channel. I would really appreciate that. Namaste. Until we read together again. Bye-bye. Bye-bye, bye-bye. Bye-bye.